everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is the topic is something I don't really like to talk about. I don't really like to be negative with stuff. I like to keep it positive. That's if you've seen my Suicide Squad videos, you obviously know that. Um, but today's video, I want to talk about the growing disdain for Mortal Kombat. One, not just on the casual level, but on the professional and upper level for the game. And my reason for making this video really stemmed from the the two of Sonic Fox's um, tweets that they released referencing Mortal Kombat 1 in relation to Tekken 8, which if you don't know, Tekken 8 releases later this month, and they are very excited for the game, and they would comparing Mortal Kombat 1 to Tekken 8. So the first tweet that they released is, "Tekken is so sick, man. I really wish NRS had this level of communication, and love the way oh, I misread. I really wish NRS had this level of communication and love the way the other major fighters do. It makes me so envious because they easily could, and they could do it with flying colors." Which, in real life, I am 100%, think Sonic Fox is correct in this quote, because I'm not going to compare it to games like Guilty Gear or other smaller. I mean, Guilty Gear is not technically small, but it's not a gigantic game like Mortal Kombat is, or Street Fighter or Tekken. So I'm only going to compare Mortal Kombat to Tekken and Street Fighter. So the thing that's kind of jaded about Mortal Kombat compared to Street Fighter and Tekken is that the budget for all three of those games is vastly different. I don't know the exact budget, but I will tell you that the budget that WB gives Mortal Kombat is almost quadruple what Capcom or Bandai Namco have for Tekken and Street Fighter. And the reason for that is because WB is just a bigger company. It's not Capcom or Bandai Namco's fault. They're both gaming companies. Specifically they are masters in gaming, while WB does other stuff like, movies, toys, merchandising, a ton of other stuff that they do on top of gaming. The W game is the specified smaller portion of the overall Warner Brothers brand. There's that. So when it comes to putting money and support into the game, that's kind of like NetherRealm Studios kind of has this that they recently broke with Mortal Kombat 11. They've had this 2-year gap in between game. So like Mortal Kombat 9 released, they would support the game for 2 years. I might be wrong about between Mortal Kombat 9 and Injustice 1. I kind of forget the timeline for that, but it's usually 2 years. I know definitely between MKX and MK11 there's 2 years between those three games. But with games like Street Fighter and Tekken 8, or just Tekken in general, not just Tekken 8, Tekken 7 released back in, if I'm not mistaken, 2020. I might have to look it up. I think it was 2015, maybe 2017. So with now, Tekken 8 is coming out, 7, 8 years later, and in that span we had Injustice. We have 3 NetherRealm games in the span of one Tekken 8 game. So it's hard to be committed to one game which is in Sonic Fox's profession, a professional fighting game player. It's hard to commit to a certain, game when, the game changes every single few years. And another thing that NetherRealm does is they don't keep legacy moves. And if you don't know what legacy moves are, it's characters like Ryu in Street Fighter. They keep the same basic playstyle or even moves carries over with each game. And compared to Mortal Kombat, Liu Kang in its last 3 iterations, which is X, 11, and that brutality is badass, by the way, just point out. X11 and 1, he plays vastly different in all three of them. So it's hard to be a character loyalist in another game because you don't know how the character's going to play in the next iteration of Mortal Kombat. Now, but when you go and play a game like Street Fighter or Tekken, your character might not be in the game, but if you're a Ryu specialist or I don't know any characters from Tekken other than I don't know. I don't know much about Tekken, and I'm gonna try it out, but uh, you know, I think his name's Kyu. I don't know, Kazumi. I don't know. Hisashi or something like that. I know all their moves carry over from game to game. So if you're a character specialist, you are going to master each game. And on top of that, they do add stuff to the characters. It's not the same character, but they keep their basic playstyle and moves. So you can really master, if you put a lot of time into each character, you can master how it's played. And so it's hard to be I love NetherRealm games. They all have like a special quirk that I really love about them. But I do agree with Sonic Fox here that it is hard to, I think it's even in his next tweet that I'll go over it, that he even capitalizes on it. Yeah, he even in his next tweet, which I'll say here, he says, "I am hopeful that it is not too late for Mortal Kombat 1 to get back on the right track. I know there are certain things that are completely WB's fault and not necessarily NOS, but it doesn't change the situation we are in. If not, I would drop the game. I've done this many times already. I truly enjoy the game. In fact, I can't wait to go home and press more buttons with Omni-Man. But eventually, that will win, and then what? Dropped me on Kombat 11 for the exact same reason." So another complaint that a lot of people have in pertaining to Mortal Kombat 1 is the lack of content. And I was watching Super stream yesterday when Chameleon dropped, and I will have content on Chameleon. I know I'm a little bit late, but I've been busy. But I was watching his video on his stream, and he was practicing with Chameleon, and he was talking about how Mortal Kombat 11 is the almost perfect content. I can't remember exactly what he said, but something about like perfect content portion for a Mortal Kombat game. And I agree with them because, Mortal Kombat, I prefer the Mortal Kombat 1's gameplay. I love how it plays. I absolutely despised how Mortal Kombat 11 played. It was so scummy. A child could pick up the Mortal Kombat 11 and mash buttons and beat like a pro player. Okay, that's a little bit exaggeration, but it was just so scummy. Jade's down 2 is the pinnacle of scumminess in that game. I'm not gonna go off about Mortal Kombat 11, but I will agree with them. The brutalities, there was 4 intros, 4 outros in Mortal Kombat 11. There was 2 fatalities, and they later added friendship, and they later added friendships, and then each character had countless brutalities that they even added more that you could unlock through Towers of Time. I'm pretty sure they add more that you could add, that they added later on through Towers of Time that you could unlock. That's a whole lot more compared to in this game where there is no intros or outros. There's outros, but they're all basically the same. Each one has 2 fatalities if you're not counting the ones that you have to pay for through the stop with the seasonal ones. And each character has 4 plus the down 2 brutality. So if you're comparing it to Mortal Kombat 11 with content wise, this game has nothing. It's so not there. And in all honesty, it's not Ed Boon and NetherRealm's fault. This is completely on WB. I feel bad for Ed Boon in a way. I know he's got tons of money and more money than I would ever dream of having, but I feel bad for Ed Boon because I feel like he truly loves the Mortal Kombat franchise. And I've seen constant interviews with him how he's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna support this game for years to come. There's gonna be so much more content to come. We're gonna keep improving on the game." And I love his optimism. And I think him and everyone else do know that eventually WB will pull the plug on this game, and it's not his decision. I honestly wish Ed Boon had full control of Mortal Kombat. I feel like if we did this Mortal Kombat 1 would be a much better game if Ed Boon had full control and he didn't really have to listen to upper supervisors. But this might be just me sucking off Ed Boon way too much on that point. But it's both of all the lack of content, and if you even remember, the intros wasn't even in Towers, and Combat League at the beginning when the game first dropped. So they had to add that in later on, so that they are making the game better. But when you have games like Street Fighter and Tekken 8 that are coming out with just better content and better war content and stuff that is just fun to play. Like Mortal Kombat is fun to play. I enjoy getting on and playing Mortal Kombat 1 for a long time. It's fun. And I am really looking forward to the rest of the combat pack. I mean, we still got Peacekeeper, Airmac, Homelander, and Takeda. Those are awesome picks for the rest of the roster. And we're getting Peacekeeper at the end of this, at the beginning of next month, I should say. So I am excited for the future of Mortal Kombat 1, but I am with Sandbox in that mindset that if they can't add content for this game, and I'm honestly gonna be making content for this game. I'm gonna make videos just because I love it. That's kind of what this YouTube channel is about. Superheroes and fighting games. So, but I mean, it does wane in your in your mind about how you just wish the game was better than what it was. You wish Mortal Kombat 1 was a perfect game. You wish Ed Boon could make the game that he wanted, and he wasn't bogged down by these corporate assholes who don't give a fuck about Mortal Kombat and they just care about the money. But it's the reality of the situation that we live in is that we live in a reality where the corporate heads are all they care about is money, and they are going to try to nickel and dime you all the way up. Try to get as much money as you can out of a franchise and just kill it. So that's where we are now. Here's hoping that Mortal Kombat 1 can make a impressive comeback. I have faith. I feel like anybody can do it. NetherRealm and Ed Boon can do it. The money is definitely there, and it just takes the power of the people to do it. So anyway, y'all, that's kind of my little rant about Mortal Kombat dying or being dead. So if you like what you saw, please leave a like and think about subscribing, and tell me what you think about my opinions and my take on Mortal Kombat dying or being dead. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.